Today we are looking at a verse in Proverbs 16, specifically 16 verse 7. We want to again note a couple things. First, the Bible has guidelines to what some call almost like unconditional promises. Secondly, Proverbs are proverbs. They are not promises. With that in mind, verse 7 says, "When a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him." Unfortunately, what we do many times is read the verse like this: if I'm a Christian and I have an enemy, God will change the heart of my enemy, not my heart. And then I will have peace with them because they are wrong and I'm right. What this verse does actually say is, first of all, if a man's ways please the Lord. This is a condition of having peace with my enemy. The condition is that my ways need to be pleasing to the Lord at all times, and especially if I have formed an enemy. Now, verses 1 through 7 are also closely related, and they give insight into verse 7. So they're all linked together. For example, verse 4 points to a time factor. Give God time, all the while working on myself, as mentioned in verse 4, and let him resolve the conflict. And watch the words of retaliation, as mentioned in verse 1. Another point is that when we are in conflict, we have a tendency to think we are right and we overlook any of our part in the conflict. This is in verse 2 when it says that our ways are pure in our own eyes. Again, with the pride and arrogance is verse 5. It says the arrogant will not go unpunished. Some of our punishment in life is conflict with others that we, at least in part, are a cause of. In the last two verses, verses 3 and 6, we'll look at those just for a second here. They say that we have to commit our work to the Lord, our work being everything that we do. We also need to do this without wavering. We have to be faithful and committed to turn away from our evil that has, again, at least in part, been a cause of the conflict we're in.